All right. Michael is asking about offensive linemen and why not a bigger push in the portal.
In the portal?
I believe that's what he's asking.
Oh, I mean, it could be the portal recruiting class,
Yeah,
but I think
yeah.
we're on that path. In our first visit weekend with Cristobal here, Dave Iuli, it isn't I-U-L-I, from Washington State, interior offensive lineman at 6'5", 320 almost. He visited. He was very strong on Cristobal and Mirabal at Oregon. And when they left and came to Miami, he said, Miami's in my top list. And I'm not going to lie, it's them two dudes. So, really considering it, seemed to really have enjoyed himself. I think that Miami is in a good spot there. So that's a 4-star caliber, large gentleman to play on the inside of the offensive line. Matthew McCoy from St. Augustine. He's a 6'6", 290-pound 3-star offensive tackle. He also took an official visit last weekend. So there's that. And then, moving forward, we'll see if we get the number 1 tackle or number 4 in terms of 247, Josh Connerly Jr. from Seattle, Washington, to take a visit the last weekend, next weekend, the weekend before National Signing Day. That would be a big push and move because he has a relationship again with Mirabal and Cristobal when they were at Oregon. Washington's a neighboring state, obviously one of the best players around. You're going to try to do that, get him in that class. If he comes down here for that visit, game on. And then we can see after signing day if there's anybody else or if we go the portal route. But we've already had 2 offensive linemen visit with another one, one of the best. Josh Connerly Jr. also won the Anthony Munoz Award for the All-American Lineman of the Year at the formerly Army All-American Bowl, the All-American Bowl, the Adidas All-American game. So we have 2 linemen who have already taken an official visit, and the lineman who was named the best high school lineman in this class this year, potentially visiting next weekend. So there is a look at that. Mirabal and especially Cristobal. Cristobal played offensive line in Miami. He's not going to let it go by the wayside. But also, we're just not going to take, bodies to take bodies. In the past, we've had guys on this roster who should not have been here. We've reached just for a number at a variety of positions, but including and especially the big dudes up front, because it's tough to get bigger dudes. So you just okay, well, whatever big dude I can get, and that big dude ends up being trash. But Cristobal and Mirabal, I believe, really do have a plan for that, and that's been demonstrated across multiple different schools. So I'm going to trust their process of evaluation and recruiting to make that happen for us. But yeah, there have been moves along that path. There has not been any finality with commitment or signing or anything, but it's definitely not something that's going by the wayside.
We have about 240 online. We appreciate everybody being here. And I completely understand that for most of you, as long as you can get Cam's analysis and you've got a handful of people to interact with in the chat, that you're good to go and that's all you need. But understand it from my perspective in particular. We would love to have as many people in here as possible. And the more people we have in here, the more we are able to sustain this show and guarantee that we will continue it. So please help us out by hitting the like button, but also getting out there to your friends and family, those people that love Miami football in particular, but college football fans in general, because we do have other fan bases represented here. And just let them know that we are here every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock Eastern time to talk Miami football. And let's increase this by 3 or 4-fold. There's no reason why we can't have 1,000 people here each and every Wednesday night with Cam. All right. Tyson is asking about Trevonte Citizen, who is a top 100 prospect out of Louisiana and one of the 10 best running backs in the country, according to 247 Sports.
Yeah, Trevonte Citizen is also scheduled to take an official visit next weekend, the last weekend before signing day. These next 2 weekends are going to be big. This weekend for future classes, next weekend for this current class. Trevonte Citizen, we'll see. I think that maybe Miami is running behind Auburn right now. LSU could always circle back. I don't think that they're going to, but that's the cancel Christmas offer for anybody from the state of Louisiana. Landon Abeda, who was in this class for the longest time, a 3-star receiver, pretty much because he's white, but punt return, kick return, receiving, he was always open. He was always making plays, right? So if you watch the film, I don't care. You can be purple. If you move like that, bring him. And then Brian Kelly gets there and says, hey, Why have we not offered this kid? Hold on a minute. Boom. He's like, yo, I'm going to Miami. That's it. Da-da-da-da. LSU pulls up, Louisiana native. Cool. See you later. I'm going to Baton Rouge, right? So that's always the thing that you need to be aware of or watch out for with anybody from Louisiana. But I really think that, Miami's in the battle. I think that if Trevonte Citizen you have to have a little bit of faith, right? Both in yourself and in the process to have 5 4-star All-American running backs in the room already. And then you commit and sign there as the 6th and youngest. You have to have confidence in yourself that you can develop and get on the field, and faith in the process that if you do not start day 1 or early in season 1, like what's Buddy's name? 32 for O State, Travion Henderson. My God, what a monster. But if you're thinking, cool, I'm going to be exactly like that, where game 3, I'm the number 1 running back, 80% of the carries are coming my way, boom, 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 boom. If you think that that's going to happen at Miami, probably not, and probably not year 1, right? So if that is your main focus, if you remember the NCAA recruiting game, right? What was the most important? If it's immediate playing time, I'm not sure about Trevonte Citizen coming down here. However, Kevin Smith is a hell of a recruiter. I think that we're building something, and the guys in front of him are going to cycle out probably pretty quickly. So maybe not in 22, but 23, 24, you can make a real big case for Trevonte Citizen being the number 1 running back on this team, hopefully. But it's going to be a battle, and as of right now, I do not expect him to be a Hurricane. But let that visit happen next weekend, and we'll see where we go from there.
I don't necessarily know if one of these schools out of these 3 belong, but I'll let Cam interpret this question as he would, and also keeping in mind that there's some SEC fatigue out there, and a lot of people with a playoff expansion inevitable at some point will see that there is some fear out there that the SEC is going to dominate even further in some respects, even though it gives more opportunity to others to gobble up more players and, of course, keep a stranglehold on college football. So Tim's question, and we appreciate the super chat: could a rejuvenated Miami with Cristobal, Michigan, and USC with Lincoln Riley stop the talent from these regions being sucked into the SEC?
I mean, the answer is yes. Could they? And I think that all of those, Michigan is a national brand, a la Notre Dame, where they do recruit. I mean, they dominate the recruiting in the state of Michigan. They go into the state of Ohio, and they go toe-to-toe with O State and everybody else who goes in there. It's another recruiting hotbed. And then they also recruit nationally. They go anywhere and everywhere for players. So, yeah, if you're in the same living rooms, there's that. And obviously Michigan had a very strong season getting to the playoff this year and can continue to build the program. And Harbaugh's been recruiting nationally. I mean, you got, what's his name? Rashawn Gary was the number 1 player in America coming from New Jersey going over there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that also goes that way. Cutler Ridge Kane saying Citizen going to Auburn. That would be my guess right now also. But in terms of Miami and USC, resetting the local power in those 2 mega recruiting places that could be transformational for college football, because it's different when those guys just go kind of anywhere, right? But when USC was USC, they had pipelines, all those schools. And I talked about this a couple weeks ago. Mater Dei, you go there and you want to be the quarterback in Mater Dei because they have a history of performing excellence at 70, 80 years of the quarterback who goes there. Normally you beat out the other 13 guys, because there's usually like 13 or 14 guys. People transfer there and they transfer all around to try to be the quarterback in Mater Dei. It is its own thing, right? You go there, you win that job, you start for a couple of years, you go to USC, you win a Heisman or compete for a Heisman in the national championship, you go to the league. Matt Barkley, Matt Leinart, Mark Sanchez, and more did that very thing, right? So I say all that to say that was always where they went. Bryce Young, Mater Dei, beats out everybody, goes there, has a legendary career, even among Mater Dei quarterbacks. He's at Alabama now, right? The landscape of college football changes if he's at USC. Now, Does Alabama go and get another elite quarterback? Probably. Absolutely. I'm not going to say that they don't, but that kid from that place, if you keep that talent there, right? Najee Harris from California. Kendall Milton, 4-star, 5-star running back at Georgia, from Clovis, California. There's guys who have, leaked out of Southern California. Sarah High School, they used to nickname it US Sarah because all those guys, because it's spelled SCERA, but they would always go, you would start at Sarah and then you went to USC. You go to Mater Dei, you go to USC. Now, it's not the exact same pipeline way with Miami, but it's analogous. If you're getting top guys from Aquinas, Central, Northwestern, you get a random All-American at Miramar, Tracy Howard. Another one, Ivan McCartney, should have went to Miami, chose to go to West Virginia, whatever. But South Dade, Paul Meadow, all of these schools that have this talent, and the center, the gravity of the school in that area keeps more of that elite talent home. That then keeps them away from Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Clemson, Texas, USC, whomever, right? Well, USC in terms of Miami, but not in terms of LA thing. But yeah, that redistribution of talent would go part of the way towards a changing of the guard or a re-leveling of the world of college football that is a little bit of different from what we're seeing now. So is it possible that, you put a Lincoln Riley who had, look at Lincoln Riley. That's a perfect example. So many 4- and 5-star guys he got from where? Southern California. Even in this class, Raleek Brown, number 2 running back in this class, was committed to Oklahoma. Riley goes out there, he decommits from Oklahoma. Well, where were you going to go? Bang, he's already committed there. Mario Williams from Southern California. He went out there for a wide receiver. He's now transferring where? Southern California. You see how that's already had an impact in this very class. And you're already seeing it with Miami as well. Now extrapolate that and elevate that. And yeah, it could have that impact, but other schools are not going to go down without a fight because hey, you're infringing upon my resources. So now we have to figure out what we need to do. That's why Nick Saban is looking potentially to offer the job of cornerbacks coach to Travaris Robinson, the DB's coach from Miami, because he's from Miami. He's an incredible coach. He's a wonderful, noted recruiter. And if I leave him on that staff with Mario Cristobal, that's 2 monster recruiters at a minimum on top of the other guys that they're going to bring in. Hold on, wait a minute. I need guys from there. I need a Josh Jobe. I need an Eddie Jackson out of Fort Lauderdale Boyd Anderson High School who played wide receiver. And most people were offering him wide receiver, said, you're going to be a safety and you're going to be an all-pro, right? I need that guy. I need a Jordan Battle who Miami stupidly said was too small and not physical enough. And he's a Thorpe Award finalist. I need those guys from there. I need Pat Surtain from American Heritage High School. I need Earl Little Jr. not going to his father's alma mater in Miami, but coming over here from Plantation American Heritage. I need Dallas Turner. I need all of these guys from South Florida. So I'm going to go get someone off that Hurricane staff to curtail some of what that question was talking about from Tim Prangley. Look, man, I'm trying to tell you, yes, the answer to the question is, could these new regimes in these places change the balance of power a little bit? Yes. And Tim, I like to think of myself as a recruiting junkie, and I am honored by that comment that you say that I know my Trojan in California football, because I don't know it other than what I read and what I follow in the world of recruiting and obviously, watching them and everything. But that statement right there, that is a great, wonderful compliment. And I really do appreciate that.